Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Right, it's another fluff piece, and it's an easier fluff piece than normal, but it's not easier because I don't actually know what I'm doing. My name's Paul, everyone. This is Milehouse Studios. If you've not watched the channel before, where have you fucking been? There's some signs. I'll do a bit of swearing. If you don't like it, back door's over there. And don't tell me you don't like a bit of backdoor action, all right? Even though you might feel a little bit less of a man.
I fear you're underestimating the sneakiness, sir.
Anyway, see, I've lowered the tone immediately so you know what the fuck is coming. I've been sent lots of guitars, lots of brilliant guitars, lots of absolute shit boxes. They come with varying degrees, and normally we have to sort the frets out. That's basically how this works. This is a bit different because occasionally people like Jake write me fucking long letters. I won't leave all his details on here, but he's very concise. You're very concise, Jake. Jake Van Shake. I like it. Shimmy. I don't know what that was, but there you go. I haven't filmed anything for about a week, so I'm a bit excited to be back behind the camera and treating myself like an absolute prick. Anyway, let's not waffle too much, because otherwise I'll get comments like this. Too much waffle, I had to leave after 6 minutes. Fuck off. Jake has sent me an absolute worldie. This is mint. It's absolutely mint. These go from between 350 and 550 quid. It's difficult to tell. It's an older guitar. What things have sold for, offers and all that sort of stuff. We're gonna work on this. I don't think it needs a lot. Hopefully not. Every PRS I've had on the bench really has not needed a lot. They are so super consistent. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's a semi-hollow and it does induce a semi every time I look at it. This is going to go to the Blue Cross because that's what Jake the Shake Roberts has asked for. I don't know if people call you that, Jake, but anyway, thank you from everyone. Special wave from everyone. If you comment, Jake, I will pin it and then people can blow smoke right up your fucking anus. It's got a Wilkinson wraparound bridge, which has got the characteristic little bit of rocking from a shit Fred. But again, doesn't really affect anything. It's fine. They all fucking do it. We're just going to take it apart and have a little look. How good is this PRS? I think PRS SE models, although when this came out, the landscape was very different, wasn't it? Very different. I'm going to cut the strings off. I'm going to get going because I don't want people going, hey, waffles too much. If I mention twatty commenters, don't think I'm affected. Don't think I'm moaning. Makes no fucking difference. I've said it a million times before. My skin is thicker than your kids. And that's all of you fucking mung beans that comment in capital letters. Let's all give them a communal bottom lip. Wankers. So one thing, before I get started on this, this has a 0.3 millimeter. Comment below if you just shouted that back at the telly. I hope you did. I feel a little bit better. That is the Imperial Mungbean equivalent of a gauge 12. I think this has got 12s on it. And that top string belongs on a fucking bass. So I'll be putting 10s on this because they are huge. I think we could make some general setup improvements to this thing, but it's not going to need a lot. Which is fine because I'm fucking sick of leveling frets for a minute. Well, the Notadarios on there, that's going to be a problem. We'll have to see what the nut's like after having 12s on this guitar. It might be fine, we might have to cut a new nut on, who knows. You can see why you get a little bit of problem with these bridges because there is an ungodly amount of play in that thread, which is pretty poor, to be honest. Wilkinson, you could do better than that. It's a bit of a shame, really, but it's not going to make any difference because even if that bridge rocks forward and it changes things, we'll just adjust it and it's fine. So don't panic if your bridge is having a little bit of a tilt. It's not the end of the world. Little caveat when I do these videos, I'm not a guitar tech, I'm a guitar maker. I make guitars like these. And I use a lot of new materials. I do these tech videos because A, we get to raise lots of money for the charity. B, it's a brilliant opportunity for people to get involved by sending their guitars in. You get a wonderful warm fuzzy feeling. And C, I get the selfish chance to learn. So I'm learning, same time as you're learning. I will miss things. You might be screaming at the telly, oh, fucking know that tuner only works for this ratio, you know, whatever. There's technical things that I'll miss, especially if I'm doing wibbly wobbly trems. because it's not normally my cup of tea. If I ever make an error, it's because I didn't fucking know. There you go. I'm just going to put it out there. It's a very rare thing on the internet these days to not give a fuck about making an error in front of the world. And I don't. I'm very old school. There you go. Every lesson I've learned in my life has been the hard way. Take that for granted, people. So, first things first. Simple. Let's straighten the neck up. People do comment and they buy tools. There's an affiliate link below for Crimson. If you're in the UK, Crimson Tools. Amazing bit of gear. And people have noted that Crimson's new ruler will not do that. They have sharpened the edges so that it will not stand. Now, that is actually a good thing, because me doing that there is a nightmare if you knock something and it falls off and hits things, because that's a heavy old bit of shit. So actually these here, you can check and then you have to take the ruler off. It's a good thing. Just take my word for that. So let's straighten this neck up. If you've not got a PRS, you need a special Popeye pipe. And then you can adjust your neck. As to be expected, these dots have got like little half moon crescents in them. Very nice, very pretty. Right, that's lovely. Get that one off there. The truss rod was under quite a bit of tension because it had 12s on it. The neck was screaming, ah, too much. So there's a lot going on there. Let's get out the cheeky rocker and we'll have a little look. How good are frets on an old PRS SE? I'll have a look at serial numbers and all that sort of stuff and find out when this thing was made, because as usual I've done fuck all research. God, just a couple of the tiniest of rock. I mean, that's top 5 fretwork. I should say that, firstly, I don't include everything in every video. So if you don't see me adjust a pickup height or fucking deoxit a pot or whatever gets your nipples creaming, it's because I don't put everything in every video, because they'd be the same every week. So I know that PRS glue their frets in. I don't know about SEs. The 13th has got the tiniest of rocks. And it's gone. So I don't know, because this is an old guitar, whether this has had a level recrown and polish. This thing looks to me like it's never been out the fucking box. It's so clean and tidy. It probably hasn't had a fret job. I thought it had a bit of a ding in it then, but I think that might have been just a bit of smegmatty from me down in Fritzels. I get a bit carried away. One day I'll upload a picture of me playing in my gimp mask. This thing for 400 quid is pretty unbeatable. I would take it over a Fender or an Epiphone or Squire any day of the week. That is just lovely. It is lovely. Let's take the opportunity to talk about Fretilyzer, because this is YouTube and I have to sell things, don't I? Because if you buy one of these systems through my affiliate link, I will make enough money to buy a fucking toffee crisp. Let's bring in little Dave and I'll just show you how this works. Only briefly, and I'm going to whiz through it. I'm not going to film the whole thing because, my God, you've all seen it a million times before. So this is a Fretilyzer. It goes from 1500 to 2.4 to 4 to 8. It tapes on. The shape of the nubbin is the shape of the crown of a fret, and it's just going to polish these frets because they are a bit minging. This fretboard's got a ton of sanding sealer or something on it, so I'm not going to oil that. It's not going to do anything. We're not going to get any penetration. But I will use my little fret protector, and when you put the 1500 on, it will mat them up to start with. Now, if you're doing this at home on your own lovely guitar, then by all means get a bit of tape on the body. Don't be a fucking turnip. Do you have turnips in America? What do you call them over there? So make sure you use your protector so you don't end up scratching your fretboard. And when you get these, this isn't a Fretilyzer one. Theirs are a little bit smaller. That's a Fretilyzer one. Just run a bit of, when you first get these, just run your 1500 on the back of it. Right, because I did have one guy moan that it scratched his fretboard. So just make sure there's no burrs on it before you put it on your fretboard. Otherwise, it's what we call counterintuitive. That was a big word for a carrot cruncher. Right, so I'm just going to whiz through these. So we're going to look at them, we're going to click our fingers, and we'll come back and wank off our fret ends. There you go, look. Sorted. How easy is that? Dave's going back to where he lives now. So a couple little observations for the people that love facts and figures. It is a 9.5 radii. It's got P90s in it. It's got knobs and twizzlers. There's a 3-way switch, nothing complicated at all. And it's got 22 frets, just in case you're struggling to count them. More carrots in your diet required. It's got the smoothest fret ends I've ever felt.
It's just, they are, I concur, they're the greatest.
So there you go. We've given them a wank with the severed hand. It's all good. This is my job, by the way. This is my career. I wank off guitars with a severed hand. Never thought I'd say that, but I do like it. Weird. Like Ed Gein does guitars. We're all polished up. That was a piece of piss. I basically promote Fertilizer because there's no mess. It's just easy. Just an easy system. Go and have a little look. Follow my affiliate link and I can feed my kids. I was going to satin up the back of the neck, but actually, this, even though it's glossy, it's not sticky. The shaft is not sticky. So I'm not going to fraternize with it. It's all looking very, very new. Built by World Musical Instrument Co. in Korea under the exclusive license for PRS guitars. So there you go. It's got some lock-in tuners on that don't look original to me. They look like they've been bastardized, but that's fine. We'll allow that. Let's just get it strung up and talk about setting her up, shall we? So I'm going to bung some 10s on. D'Addario MYXLs. Thank you, D'Addario, for sponsoring the channel. We'll put them on. It's not the fucking monstrosities that were on here before. I don't know why it had 12s on it. Right, I'll get this strung up in silence because there's some annoying tosser outside the workshop talking really loud with like a boomy voice, like a bit like the wanker inside the workshop, really, innit? He's probably thinking the same. I hope he's not filming for a YouTube channel. I'll see you when we're all bridged up and strung up, and we'll just set her up. We'll take it downstairs and we'll give it a little play. I hope it's not as disappointing as me in the bedroom. All right, so we're strung up. I made one modification that I thought I'd try because we had nothing really to lose, and I wrapped a little bit of tape, electrical tape, one layer around the thread of the bridge nubbins, the adjustable bridge nubbins, and it seems to have worked quite well. I don't know how well that will work over time, whether it will still rock, but it took a lot of the play out. I've given these a polish up because they had some dings and fucking burring from people using the wrong size screwdrivers. Incidentally, I use an old chisel that I have ground down to a point or to a flat to basically make a screwdriver to fit in these. All right, and then you'll get no issues and you can easily adjust under tension and it's not going to affect things. Just so everyone knows what's going on inside this old mung bean's head, there's no just, right, I'll do the neck, then I'll do that, then I'll do that. You've got to do things several times. We've changed the string gauge, we've adjusted truss rods, we've fucked around with this, all right? There's a bit of camaraderie. We've just got to tinker with it now and get her where she needs to be. So the first thing I'm going to do, I've strung her up and I've tuned it and I've got the bridge roughly in the right spot. So now I know it's in tune, I'm just going to adjust my truss rod and get my neck pretty straight. And we're there. As always, an angel's queef of daylight under the middle of the ruler. That is fine. Now I know that my measurements are true. I've got 1.9 at my high, which is too much. So I'm going to knock this one down. In goes the correct screwdriver, and I'm going to go a quarter of a turn. And I'm just going to see what that does. 1.8. So a quarter of a turn is dropping me down 0.1 of a mil. So I'm going to go another half a turn. Make sure I don't burr out this screw. 1.53. Now my screws are facing different directions. That would annoy some people, but to me, I want the string height. That's more important than the direction of these little nubbins, so that can fuck off. I polished that with 240 and then I finished up with 1500 from the Fertilizer. There you go. I also sanded the fretboard with a 1500. It's very difficult to use these end bits on the Fertilizer system, so use them for other stuff. Utilise them. Gonna retune now. Now, this nut was cut for 12s. the strings were very tight in the slot. I had to like prise them out. So I think maybe it might have been cut for 11s originally. During my demo, I'm just going to make sure that it's not giving me any, I'm not getting any undue vibrations. Everything seems fine. I'm going to turn my fan on because my camera's getting hot. Do you want me to explain? Because the cameras are plugged in all the time, they get a bit warm, all right? Because batteries on cameras are shit and they annoy you very quickly. So mine are all mains connected. So I've got to put a fan on. There's Glenda, my biggest fan. And she basically keeps this camera cool because it's got the big zoom lens. It gets a bit hot when you charge it. Little Dave gets a bit warm. And all of a sudden it turns off. Now occasionally the fan will make my ruler rock and everyone thinks it's the ghost of Fred West. It's not the ghost of Fred West. It's a fan in the corner. It's a technical difficulty. And that's why it's like it. The algorithm likes a whinger. Unlike a ginger. No one likes them. So, I can take the piss out of gingers. It's the only hair colour that I technically outrank. So there you go. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful bit of kit. I'm just going to check my nut heights now and make sure we're not going to come a cropper. So the nut is cut 0.33 to 0.4. It's one of the best cut nuts I've ever seen. There are no issues at all. It plays as nice as you'd expect, really. Bit of a fanboy. I'm a fanboy. Honestly, I'd give Paul Reed Smith a fucking reach around if I met him. So I probably won't now. He'll avoid me at all costs. But there you go. Spat a bit then. That was exciting, wasn't it? So last thing I'm going to check is intonation. I'm going to talk about pickup heights because I don't want people creaming their pants. Generally speaking, I'll just round it off. Ready? It goes like this. 2 mil from the pole piece to the underside of the string on the bridge pickup. I'll do the same with the neck pickup. And then as I go downstairs, I'll play with them. And if I need them to be louder, if the bridge sounds a bit weak, I might just bring her up a little bit. I might just tease it down. I might thumb one in for the cause. It depends, all right? Play with them. I basically want to get the volumes equal on the pickup heights. So one might look higher than the other, but when you flick in between switches in the way that only the wife likes, you get equal volumes. That's the most important thing. Let's just check intonation quickly. I like to use a pick when I'm checking intonation. I'm a smidgen low. Now actually, 1 cent low on this tuner, you will not hear it. It's just so accurate. But incidentally, if you are low, you need to move your saddle towards the nut. That's it. Lovely. The intonation is so bloody close. It's fine. Absolutely fine. It's an awkward bridge, so really I would let all the tension off your string to adjust those saddles. They don't like being... Some bridges, like Fender, you can do quite a lot of adjustment under tension. It's a bit quicker and easier. That one doesn't like it. So I would just take the tension off the string before I checked it. Apart from that, that is it. Now, I have a feeling that Jake the Snake... I have a feeling that Jake the Snake, steady Paul, you know what you're fucking doing, mate, because this was fine. The setup was really, really good. I had to tap down 2.5 frets to the smallest of queefs. I've changed the strings back to a less psychopathic gauge because I only imagine you've got fucking Shrek hands, maybe. Yeah, it's a great guitar. So I can't say that they all come like this from PRS. I don't know. Perhaps I'll buy a new one and find out myself and do a apples for apples test. Apples for apples. But this one, wherever it's been on its life, it's come to me in a wonderful state. It's great. It really, really is a lovely guitar. One of the nicest we've had in the workshop. By far, really. And considering its price point, excellent. I'm going to go down and give it a strum. I'm looking forward to this bit. I'll see you in a minute. Ooh, down to Fritzels. I might have a coffee while I'm there. Fuck it. Once again, just in case anyone's wondering, I use Reaper on the PC, which I have a license for, so no one can fucking moan that I was evaluating it last time, miserable bastards. These are John Nathan Cordy's presets on Helix Native, baked into Reaper, and that is what I use for recording. That is it. Recorded through a Focusrite 6i6, but you don't need a 6i6. You can buy a cheaper one. Sniff the knuckle. Anyway, there you go. Helix Native baked into Reaper through the PC. It's not real music. So there you go, there was a cheeky little bluesy demo for you. Really enjoyed playing this thing. It's a lovely little beast, absolutely. Massive thank you to Jake the Shake Roberts. It's been a real privilege and a pleasure to have a little go. As I said before, the proceeds for this will go direct to the Blue Cross via YouTube, via eBay. And yeah, it's 400 quid plus postage. Now, comes in the PRS SE gig bag that they all come in, which are very nice, which I'll stroke the gig bag for you. Yeah, stroking it. I forgot to mention that it's a 25-inch scale length. Some people do mention why it annoys them that I don't put the truss rod cover on, and that is because while I'm demoing it, sometimes I might just come up and give it a little tweak. It's very rare, and to be honest, most of the time I've just forgotten to put it back on. But fuck it, that's my prerogative, and it's my workshop, so tough shit innit. I'll see you next week, everyone. Special wave. That was like my willy. That was short and sweet. See you soon.
Ja.